Blending together all the lessons we've learned over the past astrological year, we have our last new moon of the astrological year in the sign of Pisces on this Sunday, March 10th, 2024 at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. That is 1 a.m. Pacific Time. Not only is this the last new moon of the astrological year, but it is actually the last new moon before we go into eclipse season with our full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra on March 23rd. This is also a super new moon, which means the moon is closer in its orbit to Earth, which makes it inherently more impactful to us. Now, Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac, the last sign of the zodiac, and it is mutable water. Even though this is a new moon where we typically plant seeds of intention, there is an element of letting go because it is the last sign of the zodiac and we're going into the new astrological year. Now, Pisces can be very closely related to endings. This is where we merge with the divine and our egos are dissolved. Creativity is heightened and artistic ability is enhanced. Psychic sensitivity as well as spiritual healing are at the forefront of this new moon. There's also lots of Uranian energy around the time of this new moon and aspects from the new moon to Uranus. So this can just speak of unpredictable changes and erratic changes, chaotic changes at that. Uranus is a very electrifying and unpredictable planet, especially when it's contacting Pisces planets, which Pisces is our mutable water sign. It's very changeable and movable. And you really have to go with the flow when you're in the sign of Pisces. This is not about, having a strict schedule or being very time and logic oriented. Now, as most of you know, a new moon is when we have a conjunction of the sun and the moon right here in Pisces at 20 degrees and 17 minutes of Pisces. And this is in the last decan of Pisces, which is actually a Scorpio ruled decan of Pisces. This decan of Pisces is ruled by the Ten of Cups tarot card, and the Ten of Cups tarot card really speaks about domestic happiness, and it is about finding happiness in life and not just absence of pain. It is the happy ending card. So as you can see from the chart, we have a pileup of planets down here in Pisces. We have Saturn, the moon, the sun, Neptune, and Mercury will be just ingressing into the sign of Aries and leaving Pisces. But there's still a pileup of planets right there in Pisces, which means we're coming to the end. It's the end of the astrological year and we're wrapping things up. We're closing things up. Now this new moon is making a sextile to Uranus, which is at 19 degrees of Taurus. And when I think of Pisces and Taurus in aspect, this makes me think of the Chariot card for some reason. It's like being divinely guided, but having to take practical steps in the 3D. It's practical effort because Taurus, you have to put in the work, right? In the 3D realm. And Pisces is very spiritually minded. This also reminds me of having to make quick-witted decisions based on your intuition and being open to changes that might occur. It might even be chaotic changes. It is a sextile, so that might soften the blow of Uranus. But then again, Uranus is making a square to Mars, which we'll talk about in just a moment. This sextile, though, just really reminds me of having very odd moods or just like changing moods and personas in a lot of ways. Normally I would talk about conjunctions first, but this is a little bit of a wider orb. Neptune is at 27 degrees of Pisces, while this new moon is at 20, so the orb is about 7 degrees. It's a little bit wider, but Neptune is an outer planet, and this is the new moon. It's the sun and the moon. So we are definitely going to feel this Neptunian energy, which can cause us to be somewhat confused and disoriented. It can also lead to things like, overindulgence in just all types of things. It doesn't necessarily have to be drugs and alcohol, but those themes can certainly be brought up. I would definitely refrain from overindulging in anything around the time of this new moon. On the positive side, this could definitely heighten our creative abilities, our sensitivity, our compassion for others, and just being more open and going with the flow of life. Just be careful not to get sucked into any illusions, delusions, or confusions that you might be causing yourself. Definitely channel this energy into a creative project or something that fuels your creativity or your artistic ability. Now, of course, this makes Neptune at 27 conjunct to Mercury, which just ingressed into the sign of Aries at this new moon. And it is an outer sign conjunction, but it's a conjunction nonetheless from an outer planet to an inner planet. To me, this is giving us inspired action to be able to take action on our creative ideas or endeavors. Your conversations could be more spiritually guided or led, but this could also lead to confusion in our conversation and not being clear or not getting the message from someone else very clearly. Mercury, which is at 0 Aries, will be sextile to Pluto at 1 degrees of Aquarius, and this is really just intensifying the depth of our conversations with others. You could really benefit from deep conversations or deep insights into topics of the world or with other people. Now, a big one that is going exact the day before the new moon, but it's still a pretty tight orb at 1 degree, is Mars at 20 degrees of Aquarius square to Uranus at 19 degrees of Taurus. And when we have Mars and Uranus squaring, to me, this is really an urge to rebel against some sort of authority or structure. This could be rash actions with no regard for the consequences of your actions. So definitely refrain from making impulsive decisions if you can. This could definitely create a lot of conflict, or we might see conflict in the outside world. On the positive end of things, this could definitely lead to creative breakthroughs and deep insights that you're able to take action on. You might get a spark of intuitive insight on a creative idea or some sort of idea that you want to take action on, and you might feel very impulsive on taking action towards those ideas. It's like a burst of energy that we're going to need to express in some way. Like I said, I would definitely recommend channeling this chaotic energy or this Uranian energy into some sort of creative or artistic pursuit in some way, shape, or form. This aspect can also cause hyperactivity, lack of attention, or concentration, and it could be an accident-prone aspect. I have seen Mars and Uranus in the charts of accidents in many people. That said, just channel your excessive energy into something. It doesn't even necessarily have to be creative or artistic, even just working out or getting your energy out in some way. Uranus is a very electrifying planet. Also, that said, electronics or, anything to do with the internet or communications could be disrupted. Honestly, I really like the energy of this new moon. It is very artistic and dreamy, and you really just have to go with the flow and making sure that we get out any excess energy. I would channel any excess energy into something creative, or just utilizing moving your physical body with the aspects from Pisces to Taurus. This could really be beneficial for you to ground out your energy in a physical way. This is also a beautiful new moon to really evaluate your spiritual practices or question your beliefs. Remember that any beliefs you have are limiting. Also remember that Saturn is at 11 degrees of Pisces, and this new moon is in between Neptune and Saturn. So we could almost feel like we're in this void, almost like the calm before the storm, or, we could feel like we're not necessarily moving. Just focus on clearing out for the new astrological year, and I think that we will move beautifully and flow right into the new astrological year. Also pay attention to your dreams. Your psychic sensitivities could be heightened, and your intuition is definitely going to be heightened for everybody. A new moon in Pisces is definitely going to heighten that. But I see this new moon is very spiritually healing and a way that we can connect to our higher power and bridge ourselves with divinity. All that said, I hope you all have a beautiful new moon in the sign of Pisces. I will have a full horoscope over on my YouTube up in the next few days. Go check that out. I'm at the Cosmic Rose. Next horoscope, we are going to be talking about eclipse season, so stay tuned for those. I love you.